Oh, we're so live. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Right or Wrong Show. My name is Andrew Guzik. It's Tuesday, August 15th, and I'm here with my good friend and Olympic swimmer, Tyler Christensen.
Thank you, Goose. How are we doing today?
I'm amazing. I'm really happy to be on the air. Welcome to the first show. We're glad y'all are tuning in.
All right, well, let's get right into it. On this day, in 1990, Mark McGwire becomes the first player to hit 30-plus home runs in his first 4 seasons.
That's an incredible stat. I mean, that's incredible. 30-plus home runs is hard to do, and doing it your first 4 years as a rookie, I mean, give me a break. That ball had a family. Good God, he smashed it. I mean, this dude was unbelievable.
But on that topic, let's get into how good these guys really were. Should McGwire, Bonds, and others be in the Hall of Fame? Goose, what do you have to think?
I get it. Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, A-Rod, those guys, they took steroids. Roger Clemens, they took steroids. And I actually have to say, I got to disagree with the voters. I think they should be in the Hall of Fame. I think those guys are all bona fide Hall of Famers, with or without steroids. What they did was very unethical, taking steroids, but that wasn't uncommon in that era of sports. And I think they would have been unbelievable players without the steroids, and we saw that with Mark McGwire having 30 home runs his first 4 years before he got on the roids. And I mean, I think that goes to show those guys should all be in the Hall. What do you think?
No.
Why?
They should be in the Hall.
They're incredible baseball players. I think
They cheated. They cheated the
Barry
game.
Bonds hit 762 home runs, and you don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Actually, I do think Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so you think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame?
All right.
Okay, so where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line?
Listen, they cheated the game. These guys were amazing
they cheated the
baseball
game.
players.
Yeah.
They were amazing baseball players, and they didn't need to use steroids to have a successful and Hall of Fame career.
Okay.
And it's just, they take the steroids.
But they did, so should they be in the Hall of Fame?
No.
But you just said they're Hall of Fame players, and they would have been Hall of Fame players without the steroids.
I think they would have been Hall of Fame players without the steroids. But they took the steroids and they cheated the game. They robbed others of the opportunity.
So they broke the rules, so they just shouldn't be in.
They robbed other players of that opportunity to have success.
Yeah, I mean, Barry Bonds robbed some pitchers of the opportunity to have success. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, good God.
I mean, I can't deny what he did was incredible, and it takes an incredible amount of skill to do what they did. And hitting 73 home runs is an incredible feat in a single season. All-time home run leader is an amazing accomplishment. However, when you're that strong, I mean, he went into the league at 185 pounds. And he started jacking those home runs at, what, 225? I think he might have even gone like 250.
So he went from Bryce Young to Derrick Henry size.
And of course, when you get the barrel on the bat, or barrel on the ball's going to travel. I mean, of course, he's going to hit more home runs. But you can look at McGwire and these guys, like we said right here with the first take here. I mean, on this day, he did it in his first 4 seasons. He wasn't on the steroids. He didn't need to do it. He still would have had a Hall of Fame worthy career.
Which I think is why they should be in the Hall of Fame. Now,
But
a non-hitter, Roger Clemens, do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame because he pitched instead of hit?
I think that he should, just because pitching is just a little different than hitting. I think there's obviously a lot more power that goes into hitting. But pitching, although you can still throw faster, there's still a lot of finesse in how you throw that baseball. I think he took it a lot later on in his career. That kind of happened with the injuries, and he just kind of dove into it. But I mean, Clemens is just a different story for me.
So I just want to point out that some guys who took steroids, in Tower's mind, should be in the Hall of Fame, and others shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. So that's a contradiction, but I guess if you took steroids only late in your career, you can be in the Hall of Fame like Roger Clemens. All right, last controversial Hall of Famer or not Hall of Famer. Pete Rose played for the Cincinnati Reds for 2 decades. He leads the MLB all-time in hits, games played, and plate appearances. He's a 3-time World Series champ, but he chronically bet on Cincinnati Reds games as a member of the Cincinnati
100%
Reds.
in the Hall. He's in the Hall.
So, for reference, he's not in the Hall of Fame. But Tower thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame because he bet on the Reds every single day.
And I'm still upset that the NFL is handing out these gambling bets, because if you're betting on your team, you're betting on yourself. And I can't hate on anybody.
The NFL punishes its players more for gambling than it does when they sexually abuse people, which is unbelievable. But so you think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame as
100%.
well?
If you're betting on your team, you're betting on yourself. And I can't hate on anyone that's betting on themselves, because that's just you going out and wanting to win. That's like you saying, I'm going to win this game.
That completely messes with the integrity of the game.
No, it doesn't. How does it mess with the integrity?
You take the over on your hits prop, and then you make sure you hit 2 singles in a game to get the over.
You make sure. I give you more credit to the guy that knows he's going to hit 2
You
singles.
hit into the shift. You don't try to hit bombs. You just hit singles. Everybody can get the ball on the back.
No.
Whatever. All right. So Pete Rose apparently should be in the Hall of Fame. According to this
I think you
kid.
should. All right, well, we're going to move on here. The NFL just released its top 10s for every quarterback category. Goose, are we agreeing with these rankings here? And let me just go into the rankings that we got. Looking at the top 10, they did a bunch of different categories such as arm strength, mechanics, footwork, clutch ability.
Pocket presence.
Some of this stuff, I don't know. So we're going to dive into some of the ones that we weren't too sure about. We're going with arm strength here.
Here's some long balls for you.
Yeah.
Good God,
strength.
Josh. Throw that thing.
Number one,
Sling
they
that
had
thing.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, you did.
Then they had Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they do.
Justin Herbert.
Okay, yup. That's this guy.
A-Rod.
A-Rod's arm strength isn't what it was 5 years ago. I don't believe he should be number 4, but keep going.
He can still sling it. You got Trevor Lawrence, number 6. Wow, this one might be a little controversial. AR-15, Anthony Richardson, the guy who hasn't played a snap yet for the Colts. He's
0
6.
career touchdowns, 1 career interception. Everybody's seen him doing backflips and throwing the ball 80 yards in his pro day, but I don't think a rookie should be on the list. He did get announced about an hour ago that he'd be the week 1 starter for the Colts, so that will be incredibly exciting to see him going toe-to-toe with the weakest division in football.
Then we got 7, Jalen Hurts, 8, Matthew Stafford, 9, Lamar Jackson, and 10, Kyler Murray. So, I think Jalen Hurts has got a bomb out of arm. Matthew Stafford, it's the same story with Rodgers. He used to sling it, but I just don't think he can sling it like he used to.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Rodgers' arm over Stafford's. I don't think he should be in the
Rodgers' arm is definitely over Stafford's these days. I don't even know if Stafford can move his arm at this point. He's so beat up all the time. You're
going to argue with Justin Herbert? Look at this throw.
Oh, Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert should be number 1 on the list, in my opinion.
I think the top 3 are interchangeable. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert. Those 3 guys, they got the best arm in the league, and they got the best deep balls. I think Lamar Jackson might be a little higher. I think he moves over Matthew Stafford.
Look at this throw. Good God.
That's a ball right there.
Come on. Over 2 defenders. They couldn't even keep up with him. Who was that? Was that Bateman? That's crazy.
I think that's Deshaun Jackson, actually.
Deshaun Jackson. Okay, one thing we both agree, Russell Wilson should be on the top 10 list. I'll have you know he led the NFL this year in completions over 20 yards, despite a horrible year with the Broncos. 30 completions over 20 yards. If that's not having a cannon for an arm, leading the league in deep ball completions, I don't know what is.
Yep, I agree. The guy...
He's Russell Wilson. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. He dismantled Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
He's still got that deep ball. All right, well, we're going to give you our top 10 quarterbacks list here. Let's get into it.
Off.
Let's get into it. So I think we're going to start with Patrick Mahomes.
I like that. Yep.
We got A-Rod.
You have A-Rod, not we.
Well, you got him at 7, which I don't agree with.
Yeah, well, okay.
Aaron Rodgers, 2. We got Joe Burrow.
How come your list is bigger than mine? That's bullshit. Keep going.
It's because I'm better than you.
All right. But Geno Smith in your top 10. Good heavens.
That's a great take.
Keep going.
All right. Justin Herbert, 4. Jalen Hurts, 5. Josh Allen, 6.
Justin
Lamar,
Herbert,
7.
4. Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, 8. Kirk Thuggins, 9. Very slept on.
You got to quit saying Kirk Thuggins.
He's Kirk 2 Change. He's Kirk Thuggins.
Yeah, right.
And then we got Geno Smith at 10. Rightfully so, Geno Smith at 10.
Yeah, all right, fine. Geno Smith, I'll give him his props. I'll give him his bread. He led the league in completion percentage. He had a couple beautiful touchdown passes this year. Just gorgeous balls.
Over 30 touchdowns.
But a 10,
Over 30 touchdowns
top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
He's the top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
No, he's not.
Who's better than him?
Dak Prescott is.
Oh,
you know who else is? The guy who led the league in passer rating.
Tua is 9.
Tua Tagovailoa.
You gotta stop. I can't take you seriously, Goose.
How many of y'all think Tua is a better quarterback
He's not
than
on
Geno
the field.
Smith?
He's too busy throwing up gang signs.
Tua Tagovailoa throwing up gang signs?
Yeah, because he's taking concussion hits and can't.
Yeah, I get it with all this, and I get it that Mike McDaniel threw him out there too early, but he's an injury-prone player. I'll give you that. He hurt his, I think it was his hip at Alabama. He had concussions last year. But if I have a quarterback that I need to win a game, I want Tua more than I want Geno.
I'm telling you, Geno's going to be on the field and Tua's not going to be.
Says who? Geno hasn't played multiple years as a full-time starter in his entire career.
He played all 16 games last year, and
That's
looked
1 year.
great.
That's
he
1
looked
year.
great
Yeah, he
in
looked
all
great.
17,
Sure.
actually.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What I don't like in your list is Aaron Rodgers at 7. I can't believe you got him at 7.
My lasting memory of Aaron Rodgers was Week 18 against the Detroit Lions. He got picked off on the last drive. It was a win in your end game for the playoffs, and he couldn't beat the Detroit Lions.
What I got to say about that is Aaron Rodgers was checked out, man. He was done with Green Bay, and he could care less about moving on to play. Like, the Packers, what?
That's bullshit. No fucking football player, no all-time great quarterback doesn't care about making the playoffs.
I'm telling you, you just could tell. You could just tell that he wasn't himself, and you can look at Aaron Rodgers now, especially on the new HBO Max streaming every Tuesday, that he's himself.
Tuesday's just like our show, by the way.
And he is himself. And Aaron Rodgers is going to return to that MVP form, 4-time MVP form that he's got. And that's why he's 2.
Sure, whatever. Okay, fine. You can have Aaron Rodgers too. I can't believe you have Jalen Hurts behind Justin Herbert. Jalen Hurts. Let's go over some things. Automatic on 3rd and 1. Automatic on 4th and 1. Went to a Super Bowl. And Frank Clark, whose own quarterback has won 2 Super Bowl MVPs, said that Jalen Hurts' performance in the Super Bowl this year was the best performance by a quarterback he'd ever seen in the Super Bowl. How the hell are you going to have him blow a guy who's never won a playoff game?
Because he's better than him.
No, he's not. How is he better than him? Dude, that doesn't even make sense.
He's just better. I just like the way that guy throws the ball more. His talent is definitely more than Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts can run. Jalen Hurts is the best running back. He's probably a top 10 running back in the NFL.
I just love the way Justin Herbert throws that ball, man. And I think he's just neat. Braden Staley's just a horrible coach, man. He's a bad coach. He's got a horrible defense.
Throwing the ball away in the game against the Jaguars.
You put Justin Herbert on the Eagles, and he's going to take him to the Super Bowl just the same. Listen, granted, Jalen Hurts had an amazing Super Bowl performance, but he is going to bring
3 rushing touchdowns.
He's going to bring them that far. The Eagles' path to the Super Bowl was pretty easy, not going to lie. And I think he can take all those teams down as well. And I don't think he's going to have any problem QB sneaking it behind that Philadelphia Eagles O-line when he's 6'6".
Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. I know Justin Herbert's white ass does not squat 600 pounds. I'm just going to point that out. Now, moving on from our controversial, it appears, quarterback rankings. Wander Franco is in trouble. Yesterday was August 14th, and allegedly he had
relations with a 14-year-old.
An intimate relation with a 14-year-old girl.
Bad news to break on the 14th.
Not sure what he's doing, messing around with girls that are 14.
But with that, he's in trouble and away from team. Goes, how are we feeling about Tampa Bay's chances without him?
His team is also in trouble. The Tampa Bay Rays are 14-21 since July 1st. Here's Wander Franco highlights for you. We may not see him for a while, but they're struggling. They lost Shane McClanahan. They lost Drew Rasmussen. I don't think they have much of a pitching staff without those guys, and they didn't add too much at the trade deadline either. Tyler, do you think they hang on to second place in the AL East?
I am sensing a total collapse. Out of Tampa Bay Rays. They started 31-7. They had the best MLB record. But since then, like you said, they just haven't been able to win these games. And especially with the injuries piling up, and now that Wander Franco's gone, I think they're in some deep trouble. I think the team is just really going to struggle, and they're just going to fall apart.
They have a pretty potent lineup. Do you think they fall out of the playoff race completely?
I think they fall out of it completely. I'm predicting.
That's crazy.
I'm predicting a total collapse out of these guys. I think the Mariners love to heat up at the end of the year, and they're going to pass them. I think the Rays just don't have it in them.
The Rays are a better team than the Mariners, even without these guys who are out, in my opinion. Look at this. What are you throwing the ball like that for? Come on, kid.
It's not the only thing.
I think I watched that play.
The only thing he's throwing his balls at.
Oh, Lord. But, yeah, I think, on the other hand, you don't just start 31-7 by chance. They've got some injuries that are going to slow them down. I think they'll hang on and still finish second in the AL East. I think they're going to be the second wild card behind Houston. I think they're going to win between 90 and 95 games. So the wild cards for me are Houston, Tampa Bay, and Toronto. I don't like Seattle as much as Tyler does. And I think if any American League division gets 3 teams in, it's going to be the AL East, not the AL West.
That's true.
The AL East has been juggernaut all year.
That's true.
Now, speaking of teams and struggling, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge probably will not see the playoffs this year. Do you give the Angels or the Yankees any chance to get into the playoffs?
No chance. Yankees have been struggling even with Judge back, and they just I don't know what's going on with the Yankees, man. And the Angels,
Tough to be a Yankees fan right now.
Angels are as good as gone. They got Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and they're not even over 500 right now.
Trout's still hurt, and currently ESPN's playoff chances for the Angels are 0.9%, and for the Yankees are just 5.4%.
You can go ahead and ship Shohei out of the Angels. I mean, he's not going to stay there.
Where's he going?
I like him staying on the West Coast. I like him going to the Dodgers. I really like that fit for him. I
think the Dodgers would love Shohei Ohtani.
I don't think that I see him going to New York, which a lot of people are predicting. I just don't think he fits there. And
he's watching the Yankees struggle right now, too.
Exactly. He said it himself that he wants to go to a contender and win a World Series, and I think the Dodgers are the best chance for that to happen.
Shohei on the Dodgers would be scary.
Shohei.
Scary.
Showtime in L.A. All right, moving on. The college football preseason AP poll was just released. Who's too high?
College football, 11 days away, baby.
And who's too low? Let's take a look.
First reaction, Tyler. What do you think? We'll get the top 10.
I've got some problems with it. Penn State, I don't like at all. Penn State, they shouldn't be top 10. Every year they have this hype surrounding.
You think Washington's better than Penn State? You think Texas is better than Penn State? What do you think Penn State should be? Drew Lock. This is the best quarterback they've had in state college in decades.
I don't think they should be in the top 10.
They don't have Saquon Barkley.
I don't like Washington at 10 either, but I don't like Penn State.
No, the Huskies are good.
I don't like them in the top 10. I think there's better teams. I think Tennessee's better. I think Notre Dame's better. Granted,
go Irish.
Granted, might be a little biased, but I think that's what your top 10 is shaping out to be. I don't like those two teams because Penn State's going to fall apart like they do every single year.
So Ohio State this year has a quarterback controversy. They don't have their C.J. Stroud. They don't have their Dwayne Haskins. They don't have their J.T. Barrett. Do you think Ohio State will be able to finally knock Michigan off and win the Big Ten?
Ohio State is Ohio State. They're going to be just a great program regardless. And Michigan has really been shaping up these past few years. I think it's just going to be another battle. I mean, Michigan's had their number.
They've had their number.
In these rivalry games these past 2 years. But, Ohio State's going to put up a good fight. I think they're going to break through and beat Michigan this year and win the Big Ten.
So that Ohio State wins the Big Ten?
I think Ohio State will win the Big Ten.
Okay. J.J. McCarthy returns to Michigan again this year to be the starter. Okay, for me, real quickly, good God, why are the Longhorns 11? Let me remind you, these Texas Longhorns lost to Texas Tech last year in Lubbock. Texas Tech, that's kind of a poverty school. Respect to all the Texas Tech fans out there. I shouldn't have said that. Texas was about 25th in the AP poll for most of last year. They hung around. They were barely ranked for the entire year. And I don't think they're head and shoulders above the Big 12 like odds makers and the preseason people are giving them credit for. They're not gonna win the Big 12 at all. I don't think like they're odds-on favorites. I think they're plus 150 or something like that to win the Big 12. But they're not that good. They went 8-5 last year. I don't know how you go from 8-5 to being 11th. I don't get that. They were 6-4 with Quinn Ewers as a starter. He's a starter again. I don't know what changes for him that they're going to be 11th suddenly.
As a Texas kid, I thought you were going to say that the Longhorns are going to go higher, and I'm glad you said that.
I hope they break through. I always do, but they're just I don't know what they've done. That
I'm glad you're seeing the same
make
things
them be
I'm
11
seeing, because the Longhorns, they're just not the 11th best team in college football. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what non-top 10 team do you think has the best chance to make the college football playoff?
I love Tennessee with Joe Milton. I think it'd be really fun to watch him. I don't know if he's accurate. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I do know he can swing a football 90 yards.
Great.
And I don't know anyone else on this planet who can swing a football 90 yards.
What I got to say about Tennessee is I feel like the scheme is going to fit him a lot better. They love the vertical attack, and he's a guy that throws it vertically. And
that's for darn sure.
I think the scheme is going to fit him really well. The only problem that I see with them making it is that they're in the SEC. And, if they take an L to Alabama or something or another SEC team along the way, it's going to be really hard for them to get into the college football playoff just because they don't have the name that Alabama does. And I don't know how much the college football playoff committee is going to really trust Tennessee to put up a good showing and have a chance to contend if they take a loss early or a loss in the SEC.
I personally don't trust Tennessee's defense that much, but I think their offense is going to be enough to compensate any struggles they have on that side of the ball. Tyler, do you have a dark horse team that might make the playoff? I think I got one in mind for myself personally.
I'm looking at these teams here, and a dark horse team to make the playoff. I don't know how many people have Florida State in there, but I think they've got a really good shot at making the college.
You think that's dark horse? I'll give you a dark horse.
I don't think it's dark horse, but I think that it's something that people aren't really looking at deeply, and I think Florida State's going to have a great chance. I think they're going to win the ACC and get into the college football playoff.
I'd love to see the Heisman Trophy go to Jordan Travis and come back to Florida State. It'd be their first Heisman Trophy since Mr. Winston, almost a decade ago now. My dark horse, Kansas State. I like the Wildcats. I like them a lot. People forget that Kansas State beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game last year. The reigning Big 12 champions. I think they're better than Texas. I think they're better than TCU. And I think they could run the table.
I think a Big 12 team makes the college football playoff.
I think the Big 12 champion with 1 loss or 0 losses will make the playoff. They almost always do. Oklahoma always did, and I really like them. I really like them.
I think they'll take 2 SEC teams instead.
I mean, they could, but they could still take 2 SEC teams and take the Big 12 champion.
If USC has a good year, I think they take USC over Kansas State, though. But granted, good take. We'll see what happens.
I like K-State. I think they're criminally underrated almost all the time, and as long as they stay clean and keep winning Big 12 games like TCU did last year, I think they can get in.
All right. Well, moving on. Lamar Jackson, man.
Little NFL talk.
He's got some weapons. How far are we thinking the Ravens could go this year? Talking about highlights. Man, this guy's a walking highlight reel.
Yeah, I like the Ravens. They've never had a Pro Bowl wide receiver in their franchise history, but they signed Odell Beckham. They've got Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews back, and they drafted Zay Flowers. Thank God their rookie wide receiver didn't get suspended 6 games like somebody on the Vikings. And I think Lamar, with a new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, in there, they could be really dangerous. He wants to throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, and I think Lamar has the ability to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar's a great quarterback. I think that the Ravens are going to be a top 3 team in the AFC, and I think that they're going to have a really good shot of getting to that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. I do. I mean, Lamar's a great quarterback.
Do you know Lamar Jackson has 1 playoff win in his career?
I think that they got a great shot. That's what I think. I mean, they're going to run this great new offense with weapons. I mean, he can finally throw the ball to anybody else but Mark Andrews now.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think their offense is just that much more important.
Good God, look at him go.
I mean, you've already got this aspect that's deep in their game, especially with their running back core. I mean, they're going to run the ball, but now
J.K. Dobbins activated off the PUP list
this play action list is going to be crazy. I mean, they're going to be torching defenses.
They'll be torching defenses, but the thing that gives me pause with the Ravens, I think they're going to go about 10-7. I think they'll make the playoffs, but the 7 teams that make the AFC playoffs are all going to be unbelievably talented teams.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at all the good teams in that conference, in the South, the Titans aren't giving up, and then you've got the Jaguars. In the East, you've got Buffalo, the Jets, the Patriots, Bill Belichick. He's one of the best coaches we've ever seen. And you have the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa, who is electric. You've got the North with the Ravens in them and the Bengals. And then you've got the AFC West with the best team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chargers. The AFC is too loaded, and I don't think the Ravens, I think they have a shot to get the AFC Championship game. I'll give you that. But they're going to have a lot. They face a lot of obstacles.
I think the biggest obstacle for them is their injuries. I mean, they can't stay healthy year to year. But when they're healthy, they are one of the best teams in the NFL, and I think that they match up actually pretty well against the Chiefs.
I like their passing attack. I think they'll be really fun to watch, if nothing else. By the way, the Ravens the last 2 years have led the Bengals in the standings for the AFC North until Lamar got hurt and then went on to lose the division.
Yeah, and even with that, Tyler Huntley put a great performance together in that wildcard game against the Bengals.
He did.
It's going to
Sam Hubbard.
It's going to be really, what's that going to be, that wildcard matchup? Because, what's your matchup going to be like? If they're playing the Chargers, Ravens, I'm going to take the Ravens.
Do you think the Ravens over the Jets in the playoffs? Jets?
I think that it's just going to – we're going to need to take a look at the Jets. I think there's a whole lot of potential on the paper. But what's it really going to amount to when the time comes?
Well, if Aaron Rodgers is your second best quarterback in the NFL, they have a loaded defense, and everyone knows when Rodgers has a loaded defense, he wins a lot of games. And they signed Dalvin Cook.
I think they're going to be great.
I don't think they have. They have a small hole wide receiver, but yeah, I like the Jets more than I like the Ravens.
I like the Ravens. I like the Jets at 4. I like the Ravens at 3 in those AFC standings. I'm going to go Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, Jets. I like.
So you like the Jets to beat the Bills in the AFC East?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I think the Bills.
You really like the Ravens then?
I think the Bills have just fallen off and slipped. I think
Fallen off.
the window.
Fallen off.
The window is closed. The Bills just aren't.
Okay, fine. Well, speaking of windows, one team whose window is firmly open is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're plus 350 right now to win the AFC again for the fourth time in 6 years. Would you take the Chiefs plus 350 to win the conference?
How can you not?
I agree. How could you not? I mean, come on. 3 times in 5 years, that's greater than 50%. Plus 350, I put the mortgage on the Chiefs at plus 350. I think that's a disrespectful line, honestly. There's only one quarterback in the AFC who's beaten Patrick Mahomes recently, and that's Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and Pat Mahomes just got over that hump in the game that
he just beat him this year.
Yeah, so, I like the Chiefs. I like where they're at. I think they've got a great shot. I mean, they're the team to beat in the NFL.
I love Justin Ross, by the way. That dude was cold-blooded at Clemson. I love it. And I think he could be, honestly, a decent, with Mahomes throwing him passes, I think he could be a decent wide receiver one, which they did not have last year. I really, really like what they've got going on offense. I love how last year they started to incorporate 2 or 3 tight ends. I love their defense. I love how they still got Frank Clark in the fold. And that man right there, Travis Kelce. Nobody in the NFL has a better connection with their receiver than Mahomes does with Travis Kelce. I mean, they could wink at each other from across the field, and they would know it, and they'd be able to complete a pass. It's unbelievable, these two.
The Chiefs are the team to beat, and they're going to be the team to beat. If you're not taking the Chiefs plus 350 to win that conference, you're missing out on easy money.
You sure are. It's a great value bet. Now, finally, speaking of those guys and Patrick Mahomes, where do you see him right now in the all-time quarterback rankings?
Well, I've got him in the top 5.
Top 5?
I got him in the top 5 with the resume that he's got right now.
A top 5 quarterback of all time. He's 27, folks.
He's got a great path to become the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time.
The greatest. I think he's got to win at least 5 Super Bowls to be in that conversation, because I think every time he's going to win a Super Bowl, he's going to win an MVP. So if he's got 5 MVPs and 5 Super Bowls and probably 5 Super Bowl MVPs, I mean, I don't know how much you can argue. His stats are already well above pace on Brady. And especially with the way the NFL is going to develop, he's probably going to break every single record with another game in the regular season anyways.
Do you think he'll throw 55 touchdown passes and break Peyton Manning's 2013 record for touchdown passes in a season?
That's a hard record to break.
That's a hard record to break. I don't think he's breaking that record.
That's a hard record to break, but he's throwing about 45 every year.
That's a testament to the Sheriff. I personally still have the Sheriff over Mahomes in the all-time quarterback rankings. I mean, 54 touchdown passes in a 16, not 17 game season. That dude was unbelievable. Post neck surgery. I mean, give me a break. For me, I think I got Brady 1. I think I got Cool Joe 2. I got the Sheriff 3. And then after that, there's Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, Johnny Unitas. Those guys are right there with Mahomes for me. Borderline top 5.
I've got Mahomes at 5. I've got, obviously, Brady. He's going to be the GOAT for a while until... If Mahomes ever does.
Probably ever.
Yeah, I mean, he's the GOAT.
7 Super Bowls is unbelievable.
But it's, Mahomes is on that track. How much can he do in the NFL? I think that's, obviously the question. I got Brady. I'm going to go the Sheriff. I'm going to go Montana. I'm going to go Rodgers. And then I've got Mahomes right behind him. Those MVPs for Rodgers is stacking up. He's an all-time great QB.
Another thing with Mahomes, he has more playoff wins, 11, in his career already than Drew Brees, Troy Aikman, Eli Manning, Dan Marino, and a bunch of other incredible MVP winning quarterbacks. And I mean, he's 27. He's only been to 5 playoffs. He averages almost 3 playoff wins per year.
That's pretty crazy.
So a firmly entrenched top 5 quarterback. Tower, if he wins the Super Bowl this year, is he getting past 5? Is he getting past Rodgers?
Oh, yeah, he's getting past. He's top 3 then at that point. I still like the Sheriff over him. If he wins another one.
5 regular season MVPs.
Yeah, I mean that's unbelievable.
It'll be fun to see.
That's something you can't pass with just Super Bowls alone. So we'll see what happens. I like him at 3. If he wins another Super Bowl, he wins another one after that, then you got to start debating if he's better than Brady.
4 is when it gets tough. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Right or Wrong show. Tyler, Goose, signing off. Everyone have a great rest of your week.